All right, y'all. First and foremost, give all praises to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahuwah, whatever name you're using. Just know the Most High God of all the earth, the one true God, and the Messiah, His Son, Hamashiach Yahushua, who we know as Jesus Christ. All right. Graven Images. Today, I know this seems like a very milky thing. All right. Graven Images. I want to say we all know what a graven image is, but sometimes we have no restraints. Like we can say anything is an idol. Brothers don't went to the extent of saying, and me and brother Eleazar was having a back and forth on this. People can go to the extent of saying Nikes. Brothers who wearing Nikes. Nike is some god, some Greek god. And saying, well, Nike is an idol. If you wear Jordans or if you wear Nikes, you're making it an idol. And really, this class is on graven images. Idols, you can get into idolatry, outside of just making a carved image. You can make things idols, but we're talking about graven images today. And what are the methodology? Like, what is the methodology for one saying that something is an idol or you're committing idolatry by doing this thing? Can you have any kind of wooden carvings in your house? Can you have anything that's cut out of wood or something? Or can you manually carve you something? Brothers have the staffs and matter of fact, I sell a pendant, a bead necklace, and I laser engrave a lion on the necklace. Is the lion on the necklace, is that an idol? Where do we Shalom?
Hey, shalom, brother.
Where do we how do we draw the line on what is an idol? At what point, what are the stipulations for something to be an idol? Or matter of fact, it's a dude in the city that he's out there carving images. He out there carving deer heads and owls, and he's doing it on the curve, man. Got a good business going. Sit up there carving these things and selling them. At which point, what is it, an idol already because he carved it and made it into a wood? Or does he have to bring it home and do something to it? Or what makes it an idol? Does he have to give it a name? Does he have to bow down to it? At what point? And I think we miss that in a lot of conversations. And that makes us make everything an idol because we don't really have the stipulations down on what we would consider the rules and regulations on what we would consider one to make an idol. Like, what do you have to do to make something an idol? Or it's just, anything that you carve out is an idol. But this class, we just sticking to graven images. We're not going to deal with, your love for something, making something an idol and so forth. Or, you making, certain things idols in your life, or you putting things above God is, can fall into idolatry. But we just dealing with graven images with this class. I'll start with Acts 17 and 29. Matter of fact,
I can read for you, man. Let me get my glasses right quick.
Okay, come. 17:29.
Yeah, grab that one. I'll just grab the next one.
Okay, come. I got it, y'all. One sig. It says, and for as much then as we have for as much then as we are the offspring of God, we ought not to think that the Godhead is like unto gold or silver or stone graven by art and man's device. Okay, yeah, that's what it said. In the times of this ignorance, God winked at, but now commandeth all men everywhere to repent. And at the time, and the times of this ignorance, what ignorance is he talking about? What ignorance is he talking about? He's talking about the ignorance of us making these graven images onto gold and silver and trying to say that that's God. Shalom, Sister Celicia. At the time of our ignorance, hold on. Shalom, Brother Dion. Shalom, Brother Michael.
Hey, shalom, fam.
And he says, in the times of this ignorance, God winked at, but now commandeth all men to repent. All right, let's just deal with the law of graven images. Once we know the law, we can look into the law. We can kind of glean from the law, and kind of put some stipulations and some regulations on when does something become an idol. Brothers you might have a little lion carved on your couch, on the bottom of your couch feet, and brothers saying, "Oh man, what you doing with that carving image? That idol in here? You know what that is." And that could be an idol if one does certain things. Exodus 20 and verse 4.
Exodus 20 and 4. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven, above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
Now, if we stop right there, if we stopped right there, it's saying don't make no graven images or nothing. Don't you carve nothing into no likeness of no animals, or nothing under the earth. No fish, no rhino, no giraffe. And if we stop right there, and I know a lot of people don't, we got the semicolon. A lot of people don't see it that way. I don't think that's what he's saying here, and I think it's a continuation here with the semicolon giving us a deeper look into what it looks like to make this graven image. How does this graven image become a graven image outside of it just being carved? Go ahead.
Verse 5: Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
So don't bow down to it. Don't serve it. All right. We can put that down as regulations. Do not bow down to, unless one would say it's a graven image soon as you carve it. It's an idol soon as you carve it. Soon as you carve something, I told you I got that laser, I got this pendant. It's a good seller for me. It's a good seller for me, lasering out this lion pendant that I be selling. But is it an idol once I'm done lasering it? And like I say, if one takes that position, then yeah, if you stop right there. But for me, and I'm not telling you how to think. I'm just giving you, you come up with your own methodology on what you think an idol is. I'm just gonna glean from the text. I'm gonna say, if I bow down to it, and if I start serving it, then it goes into the realm of an idol. Leviticus 26 and 1.
Con. The book of Leviticus, chapter 26, verse 1. You shall make you no idol, nor graven image, neither wear you up a standing image, neither shall you stand up any image of stone in your land, to bow down into it, for I am the Lord your God.
See, so it's not that you setting up an image. It's not that you rearing up an image, but you're doing this. The problem comes in when you're doing this. I know a lot of jokers got them little stone things in their yard, man. Somebody got them little gnomes And it may have some little secret stuff to it. I don't know. I don't know the background of the gnome, but I'm sure some little magical sorcery stuff with them little gnomes. But jokers have little creatures or little little fountains with a little bird on it or something like that in their backyard. Just stone, any kind of little even them stone. Jokers like to put them stone lines in their driveway. Yeah, they'll put them roaring lines in the driveway. It ain't a problem until you start going out there and you stood that thing up so that you can bow down to it. All right, till you can bow down to it, from my understanding. All right, Deuteronomy 5 and 8.
Deuteronomy 5 and 8. Thou shalt not make thee any graven images or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water beneath the earth.
Keep going on that. It's the same thing though. Verse 9.
Thou
It's the
shalt
same.
not bow down thyself unto them, nor serve them, for I the Lord am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children until the third and fourth generations of them that hate me.
So it was the same thing as that Exodus.
Keep going.
No, you good. I didn't want to stop there. I just wanted to make sure we continue to that verse 9 where it says to bow down to serve it. Because I would write those two things down as, okay, well, that's what I need to be doing. All right, so that, like I say, brothers buy the Nikes, and brothers will say, well, the Nikes are God, man. You serving this God. Joker just trying to be fly, and you fall into idolatry. But for me, I would have to bow down to it and worship it. But that's not a good example for the class, because that's not a graven. But you could, if it was a graven image, but you could fall into idolatry with the Nike, especially the way Joker's wearing them now. Well, Joker's ain't even wearing them now. Joker's is, you're buying them and putting them in a little container to preserve them. And like I say, man, putting that stuff above, putting them shoes above the Lord. You can fall into idolatry. But again, I may keep mixing it up like that because it's kind of falling to the same thing. But I want to kind of stay with graven images, and not just things that we do to fall into idolatry outside of worshiping and bowing down to a graven image. Isaiah 44 and 15.
Okay. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 44, verse 15. Then shall it be for a man to burn, for he will take thereof and warm himself. Yea, he kindled it and baketh bread. Yea, he maketh a god and worship it. He maketh it a graven image and follow down thereunto.
Come on. So he gonna go in there and make himself cook him up a graven image and maketh it, and worship of it and falleth down thereto. What profit the graven image? We'll read a couple of these precepts here. Psalms 115 and 4.
Psalms 115.
And I'll read 4 through 11.
This is Psalms chapter 115 and verse 4. Their idols are silver and gold, the work of men's hands. They have mouths, but they speak not. Eyes have they, but they see not. They have hands, but they handle not. Feet have they, but they walk not. Neither speak they through their throat. They that make them are like unto them. So is everyone that trusteth in them. O Israel, trusteth thou in the Lord. He is their help and their shield. O house of Aaron, trust in the Lord. He is their help and their shield. You say 12 or 10?
11.
11. Ye that fear the Lord, trust in the Lord. He is their help and their shield.
He is their help and their shield. Now imagine that in the song. You know, you had the little chorus right there. That sound like a hook. Oh Israel, trust thou in the Lord. He is thy help and thy shield. O house of Aaron, trust in the Lord. He is their help and their shield. Ye that fear the Lord, trust in the Lord. He is their help and their shield. Anyway, the idols being made with the silver in the hands, the work of man's hands, their mouths. This sounds just like what's that? Is that Jeremiah? What's that? Jeremiah 23? What's the Christmas tree thing verse?
Jeremiah 10,
Jeremiah 10?
I think it is. Hold on.
Yeah, Jeremiah 10. I think that's a Christmas tree thing. But, you know, the work with the hands, meaning he's carving that tree up into a graven image. All right, means he cutting it into a graven image. Not that he just cutting the tree down and putting it in the house.
Yes.
And it's the you know, the he have mouths but they speak not, ears they speak not. It's pretty much saying the same thing there in the Jeremiah also. Psalms 97:5, 97:7.
Hey, you want to, Brother Dylan, you want to take care of this slide, and I just grab the next one, the next slide.
Psalms 97:7. Confounded be all they that serve graven images, that boast themselves of idols. Worship him all ye God.
Yeah, see, confounded are they that serve these graven images. You see, you know, you go into them little, I think they're botanical shops. I know it's a lot of them up there where y'all at, man, them botanical shops, man, little African shops. Y'all used to get the frankincense and myrrh there. But man, they had them graven images all over that place, man. And then I leave it out, I see the little joker in the corner. They got coins and cigarettes down there for them, a little shot of liquor. And I'm like, man, you know, you don't even notice it, but you thinking you buying some little African history, and you know, oh man, I got this from my ancestors, and you know, but nah, man, you know, jokers in there thinking they serving their ancestors. I done seen sisters at the riverfront jumping in the water, you know, leaving food out there in the middle of the darn rapids, you know, thinking they leaving the food out there for their ancestors, man. They'll be confounded. And they boast themselves with these idols, man. That's why they have it online. That's why they showing this stuff, man. And you know, you can go on that algorithm will take you down a dark place, man. It'll just be video after video of these sisters doing that mess. Isaiah 44:10.
Isaiah 44:10. Who have formed a god or molten a graven image that is profitable for nothing?
It's profitable for nothing. Habakkuk 2:18. Just real quick hitters.
Habakkuk 2:18. What profiteth the graven image that the maker thereof have graven it, the molten image, and the teacher of lies, that the maker of his work trusted therein to make dumb idols. And dumb don't necessarily mean stupid or, you know, not having no knowledge. It's just it can't talk. Dumb means it can't talk. It can't do none of those, you know. I know we get tripped up with that too. I've seen some recent videos. We was thinking that means it's like it's a lack of intelligence, but that idol can't do nothing. 45 Isaiah 45:20. Dumb means mute. What's that?
I was saying dumb mean mute.
Okay. Isaiah 45:20. Assemble yourselves and come, draw near together, ye that are escaped of the nations. They have no knowledge that set up the wood of their graven image, and pray unto a God that cannot save.
Now they have no knowledge. Now these nations are dumb that set up wood to their graven image, you know, but they don't have no knowledge. It's just they're lacking knowledge that do that, to set up an image and to carve it out and to try to feed it and do all of this mess that's something that cannot save you. And then you gotta, man, you gotta think about people who do that, and then they do get some kind of relief, or some prayer is answered, and ultimately the Most High is doing that, even though they're sitting up there worshiping a jealous God. I mean, they sit up there worshiping a deity, a false deity, and that deity is, still, everything's still under the power of the Most High. All right, he's giving these deities this, but at the end of the day, they're nothing. But sometimes these little demons jump into these folks. Matter of fact, man, just not to even get off topic, man, but it was a mass shooting in I want to say Baltimore. It was a mass. Yeah, it was Baltimore.
Yeah, it was like 4 of them.
Yeah, it was like 4. Yeah, I was trying to figure out which one. I know one that was at a club, and then it was one at this one with this cross dresser. I want the cross. The dude was a cross dresser, black dude. That was a cross dresser, and they went through his Facebook and social media, and he was saying that he had an evil spirit on him. And that a spirit was chasing him, and a spirit was doing this. He did these was like recent posts before he went out there and did that. Y'all look into that, man. That could be a class. But like Ox said, man, it was about 4 mass shootings yesterday. Wow. Like 30 people hitting one, 10 people hitting another. And that Joker had on bulletproof vest, had on armor. But yeah, I started to do a little class on it, but I was. It's just so many. It's so many ways that the Joker went wrong, man. There's just so much wrong with that. It'll almost be a 2-day class. Just dealing with the. That spirit of that homosexuality, the spirit of hatred is something that built him up to do that. And just spirits jumping on people, making them do certain things. And even if, can that even happen? Is that even possible? Just starting off with that question. But again, man, that can be a class for somebody. Where we at? Psalm 78? Psalm 78, 58.
Book of Psalms, chapter 78, verse 58. For they provoked him to anger with their high places, and moved him to jealousy with their graven images.
All right, we provoked him to anger. Deuteronomy 32:21.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 21. It says, they have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanity, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. I will provoke them with a foolish nation.
And that jealousy, man, it was a brother that he paid for. He pretty much raised his stepdaughter. He paid for her college, and he paid for, he paid. Yeah. Oh, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, he paid for a car, and she wanted her real father to walk her down the aisle for her wedding. And I think he paid for the wedding, or he not gonna pay for the wedding, or something like that.
Yeah, he took his money back after all of that came out. But right. Yeah, he was paying for it. He I don't know if he bought the dress yet, but yeah, after I think he said he spent like 20,000, 22,000. But yeah, he's stepped on back and let her do that. Yeah, because he got jealous, and I'm saying that I'm using that example is is what Israel being taken out of this land, taken out of Egypt, given abundance while they walk out, and the first chance they get, they make a molten image and say this the God that set us free.
and said, "Man, I want my real daddy, man. I want my real daddy to walk me down the aisle, man. I know you did all this stuff for me, man, but I want
Real
him to
daddy
give
ain't
me
did
away."
nothing for.
Right, right. That's what I'm saying. So by all they did nothing for Israel. Kept them in captivity. And yet, still, we still serve it. We still want Baal to walk us down. We don't want to go to meet the bridegroom. We want Baal. We want Baal to walk us down, man. Nothing angers a man like a cheating woman. Hosea 3, 1-5. And it's becoming more and more frequent too, man. People, and jokers getting murdered over this adultery, man. Men are not able. These men are not able to take that. I don't know if men ain't able to take it anyway, but jokers is getting to the point now where they trying to murder everybody. They want to murder the whole family and kill themselves over this mess.
It's Hosea 3:1.
Okay.
Then said the Lord unto me, Go yet, love a woman beloved of her friend, yet an adulteress, according to the love of the Lord toward the children of Israel, who look to other gods and love flagons of wine. So I bought her to me for 15 pieces of silver, and for a homer of barley, and a half homer of barley. And I said unto her, Thou shalt abide for me many days. Thou shalt not play the harlot, and thou shalt not be for another man. So will I also be for thee. For the children of Israel should abide many days without a king, and without a prince, and without a sacrifice, and without an image, and without an ephod, and without teraphim. Afterward shall the children of Israel return and seek the Lord their God and David their king, and shall fear the Lord and his goodness in the latter days.
Yeah. So if you know the story of Hosea, he's trying to use this to get a message unto Israel, and told him to marry a harlot. And that's what I'm saying. We call ourselves prophets, man. These prophets had to go. They when they received the word, man, they had to go and do some things. And they telling Hosea, man, hey man, you need to go marry this harlot. You need to go marry this harlot. Bring her in and wife her up, man. Wife her up. We all talking about, man, how many bodies, what the body count is on the sister, man. What's your body? Yeah, man, go marry you a harlot. And then he's talking about Israel, man. Just comparing it too, because that's what Israel. The most I'm saying, that's what Israel is to me. A harlot with a whole bunch of bodies, who look to other gods and they love that wine. They love the wine. The gods came with the wine. The gods came with the wines. The gods came with the orgies. What's a teraphim? We'll get into that too. The law of the central sanctuary, Deuteronomy 7:1. Deuteronomy 7:1-5.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 1. When the Lord thy God shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and have cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites, and the Girgashites, and the Amorites, and the Canaanites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when the Lord thy God shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them.
And see, that's another point. These 7 nations are greater and mightier than thou. I'm going to deliver them to you. You gonna smite them. All right? But I'm delivering them to you. All right, without me, these folks, you wouldn't stand a chance. All right, these folks are mightier and greater than you. I'm gonna deliver these 7 nations out of this land so that you can possess it. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not make no covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them, Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter, God, neither shall they make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire.
All right, you gonna burn them graven images, destroy the altars, and you know why? You know why jokers will go to the this a little off topic, but dealing with marriage and brother saying that it's only 7 nations that you can't marry. They was all Canaanites because brother, he's only saying those 7 nations because you're going into the land of Canaan. He's saying, I'm finna take these nations out and don't you marry them. It's not speaking in general, it's just speaking on what the mission is at hand. I'm about to send you into Canaan. These nations are there. These nations don't you marry. But brothers just want to go to this verse to establish that they can marry the other nations. Deuteronomy chapter 12 and verse 1. We're going to read through 11.
God. This book of Deuteronomy chapter 12 verse 1. These are the statutes and judgments which ye shall observe to do in the land, which the Lord God of thy fathers giveth thee to possess it, all the days that ye live upon the earth. Ye shall utterly destroy all the places wherein the nations which ye shall possess serve their God, upon the high mountain, and upon the hill, and upon every green tree. And ye shall overthrow their altars, and break their pillars, and burn their groves with fire. Ye shall hew down the graven images of their gods, and destroy the names of them out of that place. Ye shall not do so unto the Lord your God, but unto the place which the Lord your God shall choose out of all your tribes to put his name there. Even unto his habitation shall you seek. And thither thou shalt come, and thither ye shall bring your burnt offerings, and your sacrifices, and your tithe, and heave offerings of your hand, and your vows, and your free will offering, and the firstlings of your herd, of your flocks. And there ye shall eat before the Lord your God, and ye shall rejoice in all that ye put in your hand unto ye and your household, wherein the Lord your God hath possessed thee. Ye shall not do after all the things that we do here this day. Every man whatsoever is right in his own eyes. For ye are not as yet come to the rest and to the inheritance which the Lord your God giveth you. But when ye go over Jordan and dwell in the land which the Lord your God giveth you to inherit, and when he giveth you rest for all your enemies round about, so that ye dwell in safety, then there shall be a place which the Lord your God shall choose to call his name to dwell there. Thither shall ye bring all that I command you, your burnt offerings and your sacrifices, your tithes, and your heave offerings of your hand, and all your choice vows which ye vow unto the Lord.
And when we see high places, that's what really all you glean from is when we see high places, when we see under the tree, when we see in the grove, when we see at the mountain, a lot of times that's going into some form of worship, whether it's the Most High. Usually the mountain, you see the mountain, but you don't really see them as the grove or the what was the other one? The grove.
The high places.
High places could be mountains, the hills. Usually you see them for idols and other deities. But I think too, man, it may be coming to mind about the eating that pot of flesh, the mouse with the what's that verse with the pork with the mouse in the pot under the tree or something like that.
Isaiah
Revelation.
Isaiah 6:15.
66:15.
Well, start
Uh,
at 15, but I think it's like 17.
yeah, I just but don't it say like they under a tree?
Yeah, eating ones, the one eating the one on the tree eating swine flesh
Right,
with the
right.
mouse.
And so that under the tree is dealing with a form of idolatry also. Idolatry also. That under the tree. Where was that? There in verse 3, and you shall overthrow the altars, break down the pillars, burn down the groves with fire. Was it 2? Possess their gods, high places on the hills. Yeah, and under every green tree. Those are like the places that jokers want to worship. I give my glory not to another. Isaiah 42:8, and then jump down to 17. Yeah, just jump down to 17.
That's saying that verse is uh if a person sin, I'm paraphrasing, be found eating swine flesh. That's in Revelations too, ain't it?
Swine's flesh. Nah, I don't know.
Or
I
eating
think it
mouse
just
behind a tree or something like that.
yeah. That's a Isaiah 66. I think
Huh.
it's the Isaiah 66.
It's 66 and 17.
66:17. I ain't pulled it in so
This is
long. Yeah.
Isaiah 42:8.
Con.
I am the Lord, that is my name, and my glory will I not give to another, neither my praise to graven images.
Neither my praise to graven images. Go ahead.
Verse 17. Keep going.
Yeah, nah, it's verse 17.
Verse 17. They shall be turned back. They shall be greatly ashamed that trust in graven images, that that say to the molten images, yes, are our God. Ye are
Con.
our God.
Con. And like we see the Pope here bowing down, kissing a molten image. Even though he's connecting this, his faith is connected to the same text that we believe in, but earlier we seen that the Most High says he's not in no graven image and nothing with molten silver and gold in no form. And that was one of the unique things about the God of Israel, is that he don't have there's no graven image of him. They ain't you don't have to put up no image, or you don't form nothing and be bowing down to it and kissing it, like we see him doing there. Necromancy, 2 Kings. We got 6 more slides. What time it is? Got 6 more slides. 2 Kings 23 and 24.
God, it's the book of 2 Kings, chapter 23 and verse 24. Moreover, the workers with familiar spirits, and the wizards, and the images, and the idols, and all the abominations that were spied in the land of Judah and in Jerusalem, did Josiah put away, that he might perform the words of the law which were written in the book that Hilkiah the priest found in the house of the Lord.
So we see the familiar spirits, we see wizards, we see images, we see idols, we see abominations. All right. And this King Josiah, he put those things away, but the way Kings is written, I'm sure if you continue reading, the next king that came along went right back to that foolishness. Zechariah 10 and 2.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 10, verse 2. For the idols have spoken vanity, and the diviners have seen a lie, and have told false dreams. They comfort in vain. Therefore, they went their way as a flock. They were troubled because there was no shepherd.
And that's another thing. Some jokers are bold. Some jokers are bold, especially when they it's some people bold today. It's jokers who call themselves prophets. It's 2 types of false prophets today. Well, I ain't gonna say false. Yeah, it's 2 people that call themselves prophets. Let me just say that, not to bring offense. It's one that'll call himself a prophet. He or her call herself a prophet, but never will prophesy anything. Never will say, well, this is going to happen at this moment and this is going to happen at this moment. And then there's another prophet that jokers will boldly claim these things, man. Will boldly claim, oh man, Trump our next president, and he gonna be the last president on the earth, and then the whole earth gonna be the world gonna end in 2000. Y'all gonna have this great abundance in your life next week, and and we see this. And I might have to do this video on this stuff, on how these folks are, or this boule and all this behind the scenes stuff where these people are being anointed to be somebody or being vouched for. And it's almost the same thing that's happening with a lot of these financial advisors on the internet. A lot of these jokers are selling these courses and all of this stuff, man. And, all to the extent of getting somebody, paying somebody $10,000 to say a tweet, or paying somebody $15,000 to say, oh, man, take Brother Phineas' course, man. You get Wesley Snipes, I might pay him $1,000. He tweet my stuff out, man. Yeah, Wesley, he got my taxes caught up. And I'm selling this tax course. And, man, but it's all a game, man. It's all an illusion. And these people are kind of like, they kind of like diviners. They kind of doing some necromancy, even in that area with the fraud. And but definitely we see this stuff with a lot of these churches, man. Like that Bernard dude, jokers making jokers faint and all this stuff, man. a lot of necromancy, even though it's foolishness, it still can fall under these. And you could be bold, like even just to have the spirit to say that, even just to have the spirit to just lie, just boldly to people, to lie to people on their deathbed and take their last dollar. You got to have a certain spirit on you to do that. We read the Zechariah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yahweh and Idols, 2 Kings 17, 27 through 41. Let me see what we got next. So I may have to paraphrase that. Yeah, I'm gonna paraphrase that. 2 Kings, y'all, and y'all can go back and read that though. But 2 King is when the Syrians pulled the northern kingdom out, and then they brought a priest, a Levite, in there to teach. And they pulled the northern kingdom out, put Gentiles in, and taught. And the Gentiles that came in, they were getting ate by lions. They went back to the king of Assyria, asked what we should do. And they said, grab one of those priests that the northern kingdom had. They brought the Levitical priest and brought him back to teach these Gentiles how to serve that God of the land. But they also served their other gods also. Matter of fact, just read 2 Kings 2 Kings 17 and verse 40 and 41. Those last two verses.
Right now?
Okay.
This is 2 Kings 17 and verse 40. Howbeit they did not hearken, but they did after their former manner. So these nations feared the Lord and served their graven images, both their children and their children's children, as did their fathers, so do they unto this day.
And up to the day that this was written, they were still doing that. I don't know how you do it, but they feared the Lord. But they also served their graven images. They also served the images that they served from their nation that they came from. They said they was doing that until this day. But they were taught, how to serve Yahweh, so them lions would stop eating their butt. Micah's priest. Look at Judges chapter 17 verse 5, and then we're gonna jump to Judges 18 14 through 20. We're gonna see Micah setting up his own little priesthood.
Con, this the book of Judges, chapter 17 verse 5. And the man Micah had an house of God and made an ephod and teraphim. And
there's that word again, that teraphim. What is that teraphim? And concentrated. Go ahead, Shlaki.
and consecrated one of his sons, who became his priest.
Mm-hmm. Who consecrated somebody recently? Who consecrated their siblings? One of not is it siblings? No, it's not siblings. One of their son, one of their daughters, really.
TD Jakes.
TD Jakes. TD Jakes just consecrated his daughter. Say this the one. This the one who taking over. Go ahead, Shalaki.
Keep going on that.
Con.
Verse 6.
No, Shalaki. You can drop down to chapter 18, 14 to 20. You just need to establish that.
Okay.
He done got his own ephod and teraphim in there, and consecrated one of his sons who became a priest, and TD Jakes did that with with his daughter, so she gonna end up teaching the same stuff and not getting our people to repent, so forth, and the cycle continues.
Okay. It's the book of Judges, chapter 18, verse 14. Then answered the 5 men that went to spy out the country of Laish, and said unto their brethren, do ye know that there is in these houses an ephod, and teraphim, and a graven image, and a multitude? Now therefore consider what ye have to do. And they turned thitherward, and came to the house of the young man, the Levite, even unto the house of Micah, and saluted him. And the 600 men appointed with their weapons of war, which were the children of Dan, stood by the entering of the gate. And the 5 men that went to spy out the land went up, and came in thither, and took the graven images, and the ephod, and the teraphim, and the molten image. And the priest stood in the entering of the gate with the 600 men that were appointed with weapons of war. And these went into Michael's house, and fetched the carven image, and ephod, and teraphim, and the molten image. Then said the priest unto them, what do ye? And they said unto him, hold thy peace, lay thy hands upon thy mouth, and go with us, and be to us a father and a priest. Is it better for thee to be a priest unto the house of one man, or that thou be a priest unto a tribe and a family in Israel?
Mm.
And the priest's heart was glad, and he took the ephod and the teraphim and the graven image, and went in the midst of the people.
And really, I just want to glean from this about that teraphim. But once we understand what that teraphim is, but we know what a molten image is, and we know what we know what an ephod is. We should know, like the little priest robe that Aaron and wore. But Joker's trying to make that. I got my own priest, man. I got my own individual priest that I want to set up, rather than have to go and do according to thus says the Lord, man. We can take care of this stuff ourselves, man. We can do it ourselves. But I just want to get into that teraphim. This is also another one, Genesis 31:10 through 35. Well, we'll get into that teraphim also, and then we'll look into some history of those teraphim and what they are.
Shalaki, I think we did a class on that back in the day.
Yeah, this the class.
Oh, God. God.
All right.
Yeah, I remember that. Where we at? Genesis 31?
God.
And it's 10 through 35. This is Genesis chapter 31 and verse 10. And it reads, and it came to pass at the time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up mine eyes and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the cattle were ring straight, speckled and bristled. And the angel of God spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, here am I. And he said, Lift up now thine eyes and see, all the reins which leap upon the cattle are ring straight, speckled and gristled. For I have seen all that Laban doeth unto thee. I am the God of Bethel, where thou anointest the pillar, and where thou vowest a vow unto me. Now arise, get thee out from this land, and return unto the land of thy kindred. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, Is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? Shalakia. Are we not counted of him strangers? For he hath sold us, and have quite devoured also our money.
Mm.
For all the riches which God hath taken from our father, that is ours, and our children's. Now then, whatsoever God hath said unto thee, do. Then Jacob rose up and set his sons and his wives upon camels, and he carried away all his cattle and all his goods, which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting, which he had gotten in Pandaram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's. And Jacob stole away unawares to Laban the Syrian, and that he told him not, that he fled. So he fled with all that he had, and he rose up and passed over the river and set his face toward the Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob was fled. And he took his brethren with him and pursued after him 7 days' journey. And they overtook him in the Mount Gilead. And God came to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night, and said unto him, Take heed that thou speak not to Jacob either good or bad. Then Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the Mount of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, What hast thou done, that thou hast stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters as captives, taken with the sword? Wherefore didst thou flee away secretly, and steal away from me, and didst not tell me, that I might have sent thee away with mirth, and with
Mm.
songs, with tabret, and with harp, and hast not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters?
Mm.
I has now done foolishly in doing so. And it is in the power of my hand to do you hurt. But the God of your father spake unto me yesterday night, saying, Take thou heed that thou speakest not to Jacob either good or bad. And now though thou wouldest needs be gone, because thou sore longest after thy father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my God?
Mm.
And Jacob answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid, for I said, Peradventure thou wouldest take by force thy daughters from me. With whomsoever thou findest thy God, let him not live. Before our brethren discern thou what is thine with me, and take it to thee. For Jacob, for Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them. And Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the two maidservants' tents, but he found them not. Then went he out of Leah's tent, and entered into Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken and put them in the camel's furniture, and sat upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said to her father, Let it not displease my lord, that I could not rise up before thee, for the custom of women is upon me. And he searched, but found not the images.
All right,
Mm.
so long story short, Rachel ended up stealing. She was like, "Man, we ain't got no inheritance." That's one thing we can look at. That's one thing. Well, just something for you to think about. How is she even expecting an inheritance being a woman? But evidently, Leah and Rachel was expecting something. before they left that house. They're an inheritance for us. And if it ain't no inheritance, y'all don't know if y'all seen that little video with Jamie Foxx and Denzel. Denzel like, man, I'm leaving with something. Rachel said she leaving with something, and she went and got her father's graven image. She went and got her father's idol and hid it under the saddle of the camel. And when he wanted to reach in there to see if it was there, her father, she was like, nah, I'm on my custom, I'm on my custom. I can't get up. You shouldn't touch me, so forth, so forth. So we see here, he's looking for the idol. The words being spoke to Laban, the Syrian. All right, Laban is a Syrian. And he was kin to Rebecca. Khan, get me right up. She was kin to Rebecca. So I would assume that Rebecca was a Syrian, but that's just an assumption. But yeah, we see them taking that graven image, and that graven image could be something from the Syrians. Could be some Syrian god that they were dealing with. But let's look into this teraphim. All right, that's H8655 in lexicon. It's a family idol. It's an images or an idol. And we see certain examples of these. You can see how they graven out of some clay. Look like somebody got some Play-Doh, and in beginner's form, just formed them something. They ain't even take a lot of time with it. They put it together and they would worship these things. Or there'll be like family little things that they sit on the they'll sit on the counter and they had these things. But it be little spooky stuff on folk camera, man, on your cousin, auntie, on grandma.
That's right. Shoot.
It be a little thing they done bought up out of the thrift shop, and they done sat it down and decorated the house with it. You'll be know what's going on. I read this in post-biblical writing. Josephus mentions that there was a custom of carrying house gods on journeys to foreign lands, and it is thus possible that the use of a teraphim continued in popular culture well into the Hellenic era and possibly beyond. According to Targum Pseudo Jonathan, teraphim were made from the hands of a slaughtered firstborn male adult human, shaved, salted, spiced, with a golden plate placed under the tongue and magic words engraved upon the plate. It was believed that the teraphim mounted on the wall would talk to people. Similar explanations are cited in the writings of Eleazar of Worms and Tobiah ben Elazar. During the excavation of Jericho by Kathleen Kenyon, evidence of the use of human skulls as cult objects was uncovered, lending credence to the rabbinical conjecture. The implied size and fact that Michael could pretend that one was David has led to rabbinical conjecture that there were heads, possibly mummified human heads. Let's just get into that teraphim. We're going to see that story in David here, and then we'll close out. 1 Samuel 19, we're going to read 1 through 17. But yeah, these folks using heads, man. Using human heads, human skulls of the firstborn, putting gold-plated tongues in their mouth, salting them. Yeah, I'll give you that reference too with that when the Most High said, man, y'all was out there, in the middle of the wilderness, unsalted. But that's just another reference for that salted, man. Just something happening back in those days that they did to children.
All right. It's the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 19, verse 1. And Saul spake to Jonathan his son, and to all his servants, that they should kill David. But Jonathan, Saul's son, delighted much in David. And Jonathan told David, saying, Saul my father seek to kill thee. Now therefore I pray thee, Take heed to thyself until the morning, and abide in a secret place and hide thyself. And I will go out and stand beside my father in the field where thou art, and I will commune with my father of thee, and what I see, that I will tell thee. And Jonathan spake good of David unto Saul his father, and said unto him, let not the king sin against his servant against David, because he have not sinned against thee, and because his work have been in thee were very good. For he did put his life in his hand and slew the Philistine. And the Lord wrought a great salvation for all Israel. Thou sawest it, and didst rejoice. Wherefore, then wilt thou sin against innocent blood, to slay David without a cause? And Saul hearkened unto the voice of Jonathan, and Saul swore, as the Lord liveth, he shall not be slain. And Jonathan called David, and Jonathan showed him all these things. And Jonathan brought David to Saul, and he was in his presence, as in these times past. And there was war again, and David went out and fought with the Philistines, and slew them with a great slaughter, and they fled from him. And the evil spirit from the Lord was upon Saul, as he sat in his house with his javelin in his hand. And David played with his hand. And Saul sought to smite David even to the wall with the javelin. But he slipped away out of Saul's presence, and he smote the javelin into the wall, and David fled and escaped that night.
Shalakia too. You know the well, you got a great salvation that was seen for all of Israel. You know, talking about the different salvations within the text and us defining those. And also the spirit, we was talking earlier about a class dealing with spirits. We was talking about the massacre that mass shooting that the man did dressed like a woman. That it's saying that a spirit is following him, an evil spirit. And we see Saul. We see an example even here with Saul. An evil spirit from the Lord was upon Saul. And I'm not here to answer anything at this moment, but these things we can look into and see, because some people believe that they could never be on you. I done seen what's that brother Smart Christian say, well, saved people can't get spirits. They can't get a spirit on them. And again, I can go on and on, do the Messiah, man, y'all shall praying for Peter that the spirit didn't jump on him, and then the spirit jumping on the spirit actually jumping on Judas. But that could be a deep lesson that we can get into. Where we at? Verse 11. Verse 11. Go ahead.
Saul also sent messengers unto David's house to watch him and to slay him in the morning. And Michal, David's wife, told him, saying, if thou save not the life tonight, tomorrow thou shalt be slain. So Michal let David down through a window, and he went and fled and escaped. And Michal took an image and laid it in the bed, and put a pillow of goat's hair for his bolster, and covered it with a cloth. And when Saul sent messengers to take David, she said, he is sick. And Saul sent the messengers again to see David, saying, bring him up to me in the bed, that I may slay him. And when the messenger would come in, behold, there was an image in the bed, with a pillow of goat's hair for his bolster. And Saul said unto Michal, why hast thou deceived me so, and sent away my enemy, that he had escaped? And Michal answered Saul, he said unto me, let me go. Why should I kill thee?
Yep, don't make me kill you. Let me about it. That's what Michael's saying. David's wife. But she see that she took the image and put a pillow of goat hair with the image to make it seem like there was somebody inside of the bed. And this is why one would speculate, or these rabbis would speculate or conjecture up the fact that these images, these images were, and the agriculture, the things they done dug up, but they would think that this image would have to look like a human to try to deceive these folks that are coming in. She's using this to deceive them, to make it look like David is in the bed. She used the image and she used goat hair to try to trick those folks. And so that's what they would use to try to give credence to that statement that those images, were human like, or were literally humans that were, they were using the face of a human or a skull of a human and putting clay on it and salting it and decorating it and putting it up there, and again thought this thing could talk, thought it could do certain things, thought it could, and that's why we see over and over they can't speak, they don't listen, they're dumb idols. And that's pretty much it, y'all. Y'all got any questions or anything to add while we there? And again, what's the methodology that we using to establish what an idol is or what an image is? Is it some expectation? Do we have to think that it's going to talk to us? Do we have to? Are we worshiping it? And I don't know if they're worshiping that them teraphim, but they could be, and it was valuable enough for Rachel to steal it. But I yield, y'all.
Hey, go ahead, brother.
It's like it now. I will. When we were talking about the teraphim, I typed in teraphim candle because I remember these candles, man. That a lot of our elders, even my grandmama, man, my grandmother, these tall candles. They were different colors when they used to sit them in the corner and burn them.
Ooh.
And it. I never, not saying that they bowed down to it and worshiped it, but it was a religious act. It was, that one go out, set another up. That one go out, set up another.
Oh, they kept it burning. They kept one burning. They kept it burning.
One, like it'll go out. You could pull them up on Amazon. I'm looking at them now, man. They got these kind of they different colors and they real tall. And they got images on the side of them.
Oh yeah, them be in them shops, man. Them be in them
yeah.
Yeah,
man. Some on have the cross on them.
Yeah. Some of them got the white Jesus.
But yeah,
they got Virgin Mary on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I think you can start crossing over into that stuff, even if it ain't, just putting on the knee pads, man. Just that continue with just believing in that stuff, man. Money count, they gonna bring me money. I'm gonna hit the lottery if I get the numbers out this little book.
Yeah.
Faith in, man. I get it.
Yeah, having some kind of expectation that it's gonna do something, like this candle is gonna do something for you. I don't know, I ain't pull it up, but Shalaki, you had some Elazar?
Yeah, shalom, bro. Good class, brother.
You good, bro?
And when you get into that worshiping, I don't forgot my point now. My bad, brother.
Nah, you good.
But I had a point. It was a real good point too, brother. It was a real good point, brother. Oh, man. But good lesson.
All praises to the Most High, man. Throughout.
Hey, Shalakia.
Go ahead, brother.
Hey, man, they remind me of that Mr. Potato Head.
God, they do look like
Hey, you take like that Mr. Potato Head, take them little things off the eyes and your nose and the lips. That's exactly what we was looking at, huh?
God.
Hey, go ahead.
And two jokers had a mask on the wall, man. Brother had a mask on the wall.
African mask.
Where we got that from, man? Yeah. African mask. What's that? That laugh now, cry later.
Yep.
Con.
You had that mask up there somewhere, and I'm not saying those it's an idol. I'm just it came from somewhere. I'm not saying you in the doctor for having it up there. Y'all can start stacking your stuff down, but you know, but
As long as you ain't bound down to it, But people put their cars on the pedestal, you know what I mean? And they just watch that car and they just loving that car. Sometimes that car can become an idol. You know what I
right,
mean? You ain't
right,
necessarily worshiping it or bound down, but you paying more homage to that car than you are to the creator.
gone.
Hey, it's like I remember my point, man. My bad. And that's kind of how them deities, people take them serious because that's one of like the things that was going on in 70 AD. Like these deities, okay, we can worship this, but these deities have to be a part of that. You know what I mean? And so, but I want to pull this precept real quick in First Samuel 15, and let me get it right here, 24. And it goes 25. It says for 1 Samuel 15:23, it says for rebellious is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry, because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he have also rejected thee from being king. And so, here it is, the Most High saying that rebelliousness is just like idolatry and witchcraft. You know what I mean? And so, no, take it as you will. No, take what you will with it. But yeah, that's a lot of things that were going on in them councils. A lot of these deities were Constantine, and it became grievous in a sense because everybody wanted to pull their idols in it to make all this thing harmonized when it came to building the Christianity faith. So yeah, man, good lesson once again, brother.
Yeah, all praises out the water, and that's another point. Yeah, everybody want to bring theirs in, just like again, just like Laban had that grip on that family. He went and chased him down about that. He really didn't care about him leaving with his daughters and all that, but it's really them idol that you took my little mask, man, and you ain't have to do that. You had to do that. You already took my daughter. You took my son away from my grandson. I can't see my man. You ain't have to do that. I need to chase you down about that. And like I said, man, the Most High saying, don't speak to him good, don't speak to him bad. I wouldn't have said nothing. I wouldn't have said nothing because I don't even know what that means. I don't know what don't speak to him good, don't speak to him bad. Like, for me, I ain't even going because I don't want to cross that line. I wouldn't even spoke to him, man. He just would try to get my idol back, but Laban went after that thing, and it almost sounded like, but it's just how somebody may read it. It almost sounded like he was kind of chomping him off, like, bro, you could have did better than that. You could have left my idol and left my. You said you stole everything from me. And Jacob running, man. Jacob, yeah, he said, man, yeah, I would put my hands on you, but your God, you talk to me in a dream. God talked to me in the dream, man. So I can't, And for him to have that fear, he didn't think he knew exactly who that was. He didn't think it was his God. He thought he knew exactly who talked to him in that dream, and he obeyed that thing, man. Brother, got anything else, man? We close this thing on out. Okay, man. All praise to the Most High, man. We pray this thing was edifying, and again, we're not telling nobody how to think. We just giving you the information and just making sure that you have some kind of methodology in establishing what is an idol and what is not an idol. Instead of us just throwing stuff out where the Monster you can't drink Monster because the Monster drinks is got the 666 on it, or you can't wear the Nike tennis shoes, and you can't wear the bracelet with the little candies on it, and don't let your kids eat that because it got they get that from the E5 beads. So just make sure you got some kind of methodology with it, man. The bowing and the worshiping and just the expectation of this of whatever that is trying to make things better for you, man. All them little pamphlets on the door, the lottery counter. I don't know how people be using, but people do be buying them little booklets, trying to figure out how to win that lottery, man. But I yield y'all, man. Appreciate everybody watching. Make sure y'all hit that like
Hey,
and sub. Go ahead,
no, so go ahead, finish the part. I just want to say one thing before we end.
make sure y'all hit that like, sub, subscribe, and Bring It Out TV. We'll be at on Friday, y'all willing. Go ahead, brother.
Hey, Shalaki, yeah, that was gonna be my point. This Friday we burying my uncle, so it won't be no bringing out TV this Friday. I'll be on the weekend. I'll be dealing with this burying our uncle. But the water for all the prayers, man, and the water for the brothers who donated, man. All praises, man. The water.
Con, all praises, all praises. And man, just Israel, just keep us in prayer, man. Keep us in prayer. Everybody going through it. Don't think, oh, just because this brother teaching, he doing this and he doing that. Oh, man, pray for your leadership. Pray for everybody, man. Pray for everybody, because again, we all have thorns. We all going through things. We all got to go through things. We all got to go through losses and grievances and grief and dealing with certain things. So, man, keep us in constant prayer, man, that, when we have losses and they gonna come and offenses gonna come and so forth, man, that we able to bear these things, get through these things, man, and get back to, get back into full strength, full health, and back to delving into this word and meditating, and that we don't lose trust and that we don't lose faith in the Father. Because some of these things, some of these storms that a lot of us go to are to try to deter us, or to test us, or to prove us, or to strengthen us, to make us stronger within this walk, man. So definitely keep everyone in prayer, man. Keep us all in prayer. And with that, y'all, I'm gonna say shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.